How you doing, everybody? This is my WrestleMania 25 review. I'll get straight into it and give you my thoughts at the end of the talking about the matches. They had opening pyro, which was really quite spectacular. There was quite a bit. I mean, it's the 25th anniversary, so you'd want to have some pretty amazing fireworks. But yeah, let's get on to it. The first match was the Money in the Bank ladder match. Finley came out looking like Mad Max. It was a fucking terrible outfit. Christian Cage came out to probably the biggest pop, maybe equal with Finley or so. Everybody came out to a pretty decent pop. Shelton took a massive dive off of one of the ladders on the outside. Kofi was just incredible the whole match. Mark Henry didn't do much, neither did Kane. I didn't expect them to, but really it was Shelton and Kofi who really did a lot in this match to really put it over as a lot really good. But Finley was you know, did his part, and so Punk and Cage, who did a few big spots. Punk won. There was two major botches in this. They weren't so bad that they took a lot away from the match. They were just I mean, the Shelton MVP one where Shelton did a flip over MVP to do a powerbomb to the outside, that was a bit bad, so that took a bit away from the match, but still, it was probably the best Money in the Bank match I can think of, at least, or I enjoyed it the most out of any of the Money in the Bank ladder matches. It's like every year they just keep getting it, you know, a little bit better. But yeah, I give that 4 stars. Then we had Kid Rock playing for 10 minutes, like or so. He just kept going, and it's like the tag team title unification match between Miz and Morrison versus the Collins was taken off, and they have 10 minutes of Kid Rock performing and the Diva Battle Royal. I don't get it. I'd much rather see the tag team unification belt. But yeah, the Diva Battle Royal. This was just so fucking bad because it didn't have anybody announced. Any of the Divas announced. They just came out while Kid Rock was playing. It was a big clusterfuck. People getting eliminated. Nobody was announcing who was eliminated. The announcers couldn't keep up with the action. It was just a clusterfuck. But I mean, it was quite funny to see Santino dressed in drag and winning. But it wasn't worth the shitty 4 or 5 minutes of wrestling. But it was it was a dud. So yeah, it was just bad. Unification tag match should have been there instead. Sorry if this seems rushed, but I've only got 10 minutes. Then we had Chris Jericho versus Legends. I wasn't expecting a lot going into this. I mean, they're all pretty old guys, and Steamboat hasn't wrestled in 15 years, so we don't know how good he's going to be. But they came in. Piper was, I mean, average, not amazing, just doing some punches, and did a drop kick, which was quite good. Snuka nearly fell over doing a chop, and that was quite embarrassing. But once Steamboat came in the match, I really enjoyed it because even though he hadn't wrestled in ages and he was old and looked it, he didn't wrestle it. He wrestled really good. He jumped over the top rope. He was doing crossbody from the top rope, chop from the top rope. Yeah, really keeping up with Jericho considering his age. So it was surprising to see him do that. 2.5 stars for the match, and then after it, you had the Mickey Rourke segment where he came in and did the KO punch to Jericho, which everyone kind of saw coming, but it took too long and it was a bit boring, got a bit bland, and yeah, I don't know. Matt versus Jeff Hardy in the Extreme Rules match. I wasn't expecting. I mean, I thought people had said, oh, Christian should have been in this feud with Jeff, but I saw Matt versus Jeff as having more potential, as there was more to actually put the feud together with. There was more stuff to work off of, even though they're not as good on the mic as Christian is. It was still more base potential for it. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty much just a garbage match. They hit each other with weapons, and Jeff did a few high spots. But it was good for what it is. I mean, I watch a lot of deathmatch wrestling, and this was kind of along the same lines, just not as over the top with the violence or the bleeding or anything. But it was quite good, and the story was told, which is a good story, which always works with Jeff because of the style he wrestles. It plays off. He went for the leg drop off of the top of a ladder, and Matt moved, and him with a twist of fate onto a set up chair or into it while Jeff's head was caught into it, and that looked pretty cool. 3 stars for that match, and the story was, as I said, Jeff took one chance too many. I mean, they've done it before, but it really works. And there was a crowd reaction wasn't the best I thought it would be, but it was good enough. So yeah, and I mean, compared to the Legends match, it wasn't a lot at all, because the Legends had just so much heat. Not the Legends, Jericho had so much heat. It was just such a exciting match, and fans would chant Steamboat when Steamboat was wrestling. So yeah, then we had a nice heat title match, JBL versus Rey Mysterio. JBL came, cut a promo while walking to the ring to get some cheap heat. Rey Mysterio came out dressed like a queer Joker, I guess. I don't know what his thing was, giving out candy to kids like he always does. I'm beginning to think he's a pedophile or something, because I mean, I know it's his gimmick to, you know, his big fan base is the kids, but you know, it's getting a bit creepy by now. But yeah, and the match ended in like 30 seconds. Good, because I didn't have to look at, you know, Rey Mysterio's stupid get up anymore. But you know, no rating. You can't rate this. It was just but as I said, it was a detriment to the show as a whole. Like another thing that could have just been taken off in exchange for the tag team unification things. And JBL quit, so I had a 5 minutes remaining taken up for, even though it was a 30-second match, for JBL to quit. So yeah, there is that. Then we had Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. And this had the biggest 3 matches in the top of the card, and I thought, well, whoever has to follow this is fucked. Because this was an amazing match. Taker got a big pop. What's with Shawn's eyes? Is he cross-eyed now? I don't get it. It was a really exciting match, and the crowd was really, really hot for it the whole way through. Undertaker and Shawn both worked pretty hard. I mean, it wasn't as good as past matches they've had when they're younger, but just because it's not as good as what it was in the past doesn't mean this match isn't good. It was very exciting. Shawn did a moonsault off to the outside, and it looked like he hurt his arm, but he was just selling, and it looked a bit fucked up. And then Taker did a dive over the top rope and landed on the top of his head, and I thought, oh fuck, he's dead, he's crippled, this is Hayabusa Part 2. There's no way he's continuing the match. Got up, continued the match, and they had, you know, 10-12 minutes of really exciting near fall teasing and all that kind of stuff. It was really, really fun. You know, nobody was sitting down. You couldn't see anybody who was sitting down. Everybody was standing up and counting along with the ref. It was just, and even I was marking out because I thought Undertaker was dead earlier in the match. So yeah, 4.5 stars for that match. Match of the year contender, if not the match of the year. Video for the Raw Draft special was up next. Who cares? It's like the brand split doesn't even exist anymore because everyone's wrestling on every show anyway. So yeah, fuck that. Edge versus Big Show versus Cena. I saw a sign that said, if Cena wins, we riot. And I bet, you know, my friend said, I bet if Cena wins, they don't riot. And of course, Cena won, and they didn't riot, so the guy was lying. But this match was quite fun, and Cole was 1,000 times worse in this match than he was in the match before, which is Taker versus Shawn, obviously. And it was a bit cooler than it was for the last match, but it was quite hot. Having said that. And it was just a lot of fun. It was maybe went on a bit too long, because it was really, it should have been a cool down match for the next match, but it was quite hot because it was quite good. About 3.25 stars. My friend thought it was about the time they should have given it, but I thought it just went on a bit too long because by the end of it I was just I needed to piss, so I was probably getting a bit bored. I shouldn't tell you that, but whatever. Steve Austin came out and had a beer bash, even though, you know, after the Hall of Fame thing. 72,744 in attendance. And Triple H versus Randy Orton. Crowd was dead. The match was boring, and even until the end when they did a few cool things, the crowd didn't care because the rest of the card had shown up this match, and it was just so boring and it went on too long. It was like 20 minutes to half an hour or something. Triple H had a cool intro though when he threw the sledgehammer through the glass. It's just the match was really, really boring until the end. I mean, I thought Triple H wanted to really kill Randy Orton with this feud, but in the match he didn't really do much. It was just, you know, it was only until the end when he got the TV and was going to cave Orton's skull in with it, and then got the sledgehammer and used it. And then it's like Triple H, you know, pretty much dominated for the past 2 minutes of the match, but the ref was down. You know, he booted him, he hit him with the sledgehammer, and then he hit him with a pedigree, and so it was pretty anticlimactic. I mean, it got a good pop, but Jesus Christ, I'm talking like I have no punctuation. But the crowd was dead, the match was boring. 2.25 stars, probably the most disappointing match, because I knew the other matches that were really bad, I knew would be bad. 7.75 out of 10. Not a bad show, but it didn't live up to WrestleMania 25 standards. It should have been one of the best shows ever. It was a good show. It wasn't as good as it should have been. It should have been 10 or 20 times better than this. I mean, I'm not expecting every match to be a 4-star match, but the main event was a letdown. You had the Divas Battle Royal, which was shit. You you know, you had Kid Rock performing for so fucking long. I don't know why. They could have gotten AC/DC or something. That would have been better. So yeah, it was just a letdown. There wasn't really the big feel that it should have had, but it was a good show. I give it, you know, any other show that would have put on this type of card, I probably would have given more than 7.75. But it is Mania, and I do expect a lot more from them. Other than that, I thought it was a good show, just not the show I was expecting. I understand if other people like this. There was a lot of good stuff to like on it. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe.